Hello. Let's see. Let's get this thing started. Thank you guys for joining me. Let me know, as always, if things are a little janky or delayed or anything like that. Yay! Uh, well, it's been a couple days since our last broadcast, and I've been missing you guys. I've been missing doing this. This is interesting. I'm watching my channel on TV, but I'm seeing an ad for my own channel. It's right. Xbox mute, so I can have the chat up there at eye level, so I can see stuff, which is exciting. It's looking pretty choppy right now. Oh, there, everything's better. Yay! Hi, oh hi. All right. Well, I think all you guys know me right now, but in case you don't, hi, I am Cheryl, aka Muppet Aphrodite, and I am a creative streamer. Lately, that has meant practicing my puppetry skills with sprinkles here, reading classics that don't have any copyright protection on them because they've been around for a million years. A couple people last time asked how I got the idea to do this. Hello, rules of the rules. Welcome. I think this is the first time I've seen you here, so please pull up a chair. Hopefully we can entertain you. I'm Cheryl. And I was just explaining that the reason we got the idea for this was I have puppets around the house, and my husband's a Shakespearean actor, so we also have a lot of Shakespeare texts. Although I am proud to report this particular Shakespeare book, I actually own this one. I had it for a production of Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are Dead that I did a long time ago. So I'm not completely illiterate in the classics, just mostly. Hello, thank you, Demolition. You know, I think Dan Podslins and I have the same shirt. I think that this is this is the TARDIS, and this is the DeLorean, and the DeLorean crashed into the TARDIS. I wonder if it could drive through, where it would go, where you park the DeLorean in the TARDIS. There's lots of questions it raises, and this is Sprinkles. Hi, good to see you guys. Yeah. So why don't we just get started a little bit, and we'll get warmed up. We'll jump right in. Pillow attack. Please feel free, anybody in chat, to ask questions, or hello, Demolition, welcome. We're just getting started. Pull up a chair if you have one. Some other context, Seattle is very hot right now. We're not prepared to deal with the heat typically, but it's like a record-breaking day. Alexa keeps saying, excessive heat warning every time I try to ask her about the weather, which is counterproductive because it just makes me feel hot even when I wasn't hot before I asked her the question. If I still worked on Alexa, I would bring that back to the team. But alas, here we are. Oh, Demolition. Wow. Oh, you have it as your Windows profile background. Great minds think alike. Right now, I'm intentionally dressing in light colors to avoid heat as much as possible. So, the last couple times we've done, so far we've done Merchant of Venice for Shakespeare, which we determined was not, it was very anti-Semitic and not super awesome. Then we did sonnets, and we'll go back to those because there's a ton of them, but they weren't very dramatic, and Sprinkles is really a fan of the drama. She loves it. I like to choose scenery. Yeah, it's an important part of a balanced diet. That's, we see, you know, we're like 2 peas in a pod. Oh, donations. So Demolition. If you go tips or donation, those macros work, I think, or donate. I think that's the macro, is donate. And right now, I am fundraising for the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network because I'm running a race on September 4th, the Disneyland Half Marathon, and I wanted to make it more meaningful, give you some more motivation for doing it, and so I've set up a fundraising page. And so far, my awesome fans and friends and family have raised $325, and I matched that $325, and then Microsoft matched my match. So we've raised $975 for PanCAN so far. So there's a link, and feel free to donate to that. But There's no donations for the channel right now. Right now, the whole channel is still kind of in beta. I'm still working out whether this is a thing that's gonna happen, what a regular time is that we can do it. Although, 5 p.m. on Fridays is looking kind of like a regular thing that I've done for several weeks now. So we might have a shot. Yeah. So I'm gonna get at it. Krellin, I'm sorry it's raining. We'd be happy to steal it from you. So what I thought we'd start with, some lighthearted, fun material, is the ghost from Hamlet. So this is the ghost of Hamlet's father. Pretty sure it's been a while. There's probably a character listing in here. Right? Yes, the ghost of the late King Hamlet's father. I just wanted to make sure. I didn't want to go through like an awkward 10-minute monologue where you thought I was the wrong character. But, so Hamlet's father, spoiler alert, gets murdered. It's not great. Hamlet is pretty sad about the situation in the beginning of the play, but he doesn't know necessarily that his father's been murdered till his father's ghost shows up and tells him. So that's like a fun monologue in there. So this book has one side is the classical stuff, and one side is the translation of each of the lines, which is funny because it's English translating English, but that will be helpful. Hello, BP Phantom. Welcome. We're just diving into the ghost of Hamlet's father. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, Sprinkles, are you ready? Well, I think so. Let's just... me. Me. Okay, we're not singing though. Well, now this is embarrassing. But let's just go. Okay, let's get started. Oh, I'm gonna give you your starting line. It's I'm playing Hamlet, and you just told me that it's your uncle, or that it's my uncle. So, oh my prophetic soul, my uncle! That incestuous, that adulterate beast. Based. Oh, that's a different kind of thing. Let's try that again. That adulterate beast, with witchcraft of his wit, with traitorous gifts. Oh, wicked wit, and gifts that have the power so to seduce. One to his shameful lust, the will of my most seeming virtuous queen. Oh, Hamlet, what a falling off was there from me, whose love was that of dignity, that it went hand in hand even with the vow I made to her in marriage, and to decline upon a wretch whose natural gifts were poor to those of mine. But virtue, as it never will be moved, though lewdness court it in a shape of heaven, so lust, though to a radiant angel linked, will sate itself in a celestial bed and prey on garbage. But soft, methinks I scent the morning air, my custom all brief let me be. Sleeping within my orchard, my custom always of the afternoon. Upon my secure hour thy uncle stole, with juice of cursed Hebanon in a vial, and in the porches of my ears did pour the leprous distilment, whose effect holds in such an enmity. You've never really learned that word, have you? No, enmity? I think it's enmity. You should just do what you... Hold such an enmity with blood of man, that swift as quicksilver it courses through the natural gates and alleys of the body. Just picture it like this. The natural gates and alleys of the body, and with a sudden vigor it doth posset and curd like eager droppings into milk. The thin and wholesome blood. So did it mine, and a most instant tetter barked about. What's a tetter? We'll get to it later.
and a most instant Tedder barked about, most laser-like, with vile and loathsome crust all my smooth body.
So this ghost is bragging about his smooth body.
Yes. Great. Thus was I sleeping, by which I mean dead, by a brother's hand of life, of crown, of queen, at once dispatched, cut off, even in the blossoms of my sin, unhoused, disappointed, unannealed, no reckoning made, but sent to my account with all my imperfections on my head. Ah, horrible. Oh, horrible. Most horrible. If thou hast nature in thee, bear it not. Let not the royal bed of Denmark be a couch for luxury and damned incest.
Those are strong words. I know.
But howsoever thou pursuest this act, taint not thy mind, nor let thy soul contrive against thy mother aught. Leave her to heaven, and to those thorns that in her bosom lodge to prick and sting her. Burn. Fare thee well at once. The glowworm shows the matin to be near. You see, I'm French now. Matin to be near, and gins to pale his ineffectual fire. Adieu, adieu, adieu. Remember me.
All right, so we did that. That was the ghost in Hamlet. Welcome everybody who just joined, including Jan Platts, my mom, and Kate Johnson. Hello. So Mictrinus has some facts for us. He says a tedder is a machine used to make hay. Well, that's interesting. I did not know that. Where did that quote come from? A most instant. So, the ghost of Hamlet's father it's kind of fascinating because I suppose in death, you get like a slow motion replay of your death because he's got some very specific details about the medical effects of this particular poison. Hello, Jet Set Geometry. Hello, Faithless79. Welcome, and thank you for the follows. Thank you. Very welcome. Pale Horse 64. So we just got finished doing a brief reading of the ghost of Hamlet's father being sad and describing the nature of his death. And he describes it in great detail about how his blood clots and stuff like that. I did not know he was a doctor. Hello, Kurizar. Mictrinus. Well, if that's very kind of you to say. I'm glad.
Well, the voice is coming from my mouth. Also, look how clever I am, hiding her face. You don't know she might not even be here anymore.
And some folks last time were asking why my lips were moving in general. There are many sort of sub-disciplines within puppetries. Puppetries, which is not a thing. I am not actually a ventriloquist. I'm a puppeteer. And so if you watch the Muppets on like Sesame Street or on the Muppets, usually the puppeteer is off screen holding their puppet up above the camera line, and that means they don't really have to do ventriloquism. They can just speak like a normal person.
Well, I mean, not quite like a normal person.
That I do not proclaim to be a ventriloquist, although perhaps someday that will be a skill I have. It's already hard enough to project as it is without doing something like this. So for now, we're just practicing puppetry. This gives me a chance to.
Well, who's puppeting who here?
Well, I'm sprinkled sun. I'm not gonna.
Look, between you and me, she's just here for show, all right? People would get really concerned if it was just me on my own, so humor her, okay? Yeah, thanks.
Oh yes, HRPG is just wrapping up. I watched some of the Hyper RPG. What is it? Is weekly affirmations on Friday afternoons. But since this is one of the few times I have to stream, I was not even hopped on stream anyway. So welcome everybody who's just joining us. Some of you may be new, some of you may be returning, but I am Cheryl, aka Muppet Aphrodite, and I am a puppeteer, also improv comedian, and I also do, I'm also on Shadowrun Corporate Sins over at our sister channel, Hyper RPG. And I'm using the new Twitch Performing Arts category as an excuse to hang out with my friends and fans and practice puppetry.
And I'm here for the attention. So you just keep that coming. Why don't I have a Twitter account?
Because I have too many Twitter accounts.
Well, I wasn't asking about your Twitter accounts. I was asking about my Twitter accounts.
Well, think about it. I mean, you could just, if you're so independent, you could just start one on your own. And maybe I will.
Yeah, you could call her my chaperone. Yeah, I mean, she says we're friends, but you know, have we ever been out drinking? No.
Yeah. You're really burning the camera today. You're just in love with it. Burn. Well, why don't we do some more? Why don't we do some more scenery chewing? Would that be okay with you?
Yes. I have not met my caloric requirements for scenery chewing yet today.
So if you're just joining us, today's classic work is Hamlet by a little guy named Shakespeare. Sprinkles doesn't have a stomach.
Well, if I don't have a stomach, that just look in the look at the laws about drinking, and you'll find that it's mostly about man, not about puppets. So I'm not too concerned about rules around drinking ages. If you're human, though, don't drink before you're 21. That would be bad. Yeah. Am I old enough to drink? But also, Mictrinus, never ask a woman her age. It's bad. It leads to, I mean, I'm pretty chill, but, you know, that can just blow up in your face. And I care about you. I don't want things blowing up in your face.
Wow, you just, okay. Well, we care about you, and Sprinkles declines to reveal her age, but it's not really too much of a problem. She hasn't walked into too many bars yet.
I don't walk into bars because that's how you get a bump on your forehead.
I'm going to look for another monologue. Actually, why don't we just continue? Because now Hamlet's really sad about his uncle. We could do a continuity thing, like continue the same scene. Okay, but I need you to switch characters now. I need you to go into Hamlet. So I need you to throw out everything that you had in your head for the ghost of Hamlet's father.
Throw it out? Ooh! Mictrinus, well, I suppose Mictrinus points out that he didn't ask exactly what my age was, but you know, if a woman is close to the age of 21, she might be okay with that question. I don't know. It's true that asking if someone's old enough to drink is rarely going to backfire in your face. Maybe I'm overreacting just a little bit. But, yeah. Anyway, you were saying something.
Yes, I was. You had just physically thrown out all of your ideas about being Hamlet's father, and now you're going to play Hamlet. So, Krellin says that Sprinkles needs an instant rim shot.
Oh, don't encourage me. I might. And sound effects are a dangerous thing.
So let's get to it then. Get to the reason why we're here. All right. So I'll just give you a second to look over the text if you would.
Yeah. I wouldn't have used that word, but okay.
Your quick study. All right. Let's continue, shall we? This is Hamlet after his ghost disappeared. Sprinkles is doing a lot more back talk than last time. I don't know exactly what's going on, but
I thought you said we were starting.
Okay.
Oh, you host of heaven. Oh, earth, what else? And shall I couple hell? Oh, fie. Hold my heart, and you, my sinews, grow not instant old, but bear me stiffly up. Remember thee? I'm looking over here at where my ghost father was. Remember thee? I, thou poor ghost, whilst memory holds a seat in this distracted globe. Remember thee? Yea, from the table of my memory I'll wipe away all trivial fond records, all saws and books, all forms, all pressures past that youth and observation copied there. And thy commandments shall shall alone live. I guess that's important. We're going to take that line again. And thy commandments all alone shall live within the book and volume of my brain, unmixed with baser matter. Yes, by heaven, oh most pernicious woman. I think that means my mom. Oh, villain, villain, smiling, damned villain. My tables. Neat it is I set it down, that one may smile and be a villain. At least I am sure it may be so in Denmark. So, uncle, there you are. Now to my word. It is adieu, adieu. Remember me. I have sworn it.
Hamlet's sad. Hamlet's sad. Definitely not happy about life. So, in case you were wondering, because we have translations here, English to English, when he talks about his tables, he's actually grabbing a notebook and writing it down that someone can smile and be a villain. He's making a note. And once, part of what we might do is start to memorize some of these ones we like better, and then actually start to work with sprinkles and more of the actual hand and rod part of the puppetry. Especially with these books, they just don't stay open without my hand there, and it gets very complicated. So, yay! More depressed residents of Denmark. Yay!
Well, I hope you're enjoying everything. Let us know how things are going. Yeah. And welcome everybody, anybody who's new, who just joined us. Welcome. Thank you for the follow, Faithless79. Welcome.
So, if you're just joining us, I am Cheryl, aka Muppet Aphrodite, and this is a little segment we do called Puppet Classics, where my puppet interprets random Shakespearean works and eventually other public domain works. Got a copy of the Odyssey up there. We might do some dramatic readings of those things too. And if you guys have any interest in particular works being produced, then you should send me a tweet. Yay! And thank you to our bold and honorable knights for keeping the chat friendly and respectful. So welcome, 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 and thank you. So let's continue, shall we? And of course, please feel free to ask questions or anything else in the chat. But what else should we do? There's so many things here. Oh, there's the play within a play. Didn't we forget about that? Let's see. I'm gonna pick a random. I'm just gonna pick a random monologue. Hamlet, he's talking to the actors. He's talking to actors, and as you know, actors can be fickle creatures, very demanding attention. And So let's talk about puppetry for a second. So there's a couple of different types of hand puppets. This is a hand and rod puppet. So as you see, there are two rods with these are just dowels with duct tape around them. Often puppets are kind of low-key once they get to the handles, but these are pretty much this is how Kermit, this is how most of the Muppets are set up. And so often you'll see puppets with their hands together. That's because the puppeteer is probably manipulating both of them at once like this. perhaps because they're doing something interesting, or possibly because there's just not enough room. When I was doing puppetry classes and you've got like 5 puppets on screen and they're all controlled by different people, it gets very tight up in there. And sometimes there's only room for one hand or what doing something like this. But you know, you might also do a single hand at once. Now, puppets like Ernie or Cookie Monster are actually different in that you put your physical hand into those puppets, and as you may, if you do the math, one of my hands is here operating the mouth, and one of my hands is here, then I can't possibly mathematically operate the other arm too. So those are all two-handed or two-person puppets. You might be able to operate them with just one, but in a scene like the Swedish Chef, well, Swedish Chef's different too because that's just human hands. But you probably would have 2 puppeteers basically up in each other's space, operating the hands for those puppets. So let's go. Let's do another one. So this is Hamlet just talking. I think it's Hamlet talking to these just to random players. So we'll see. This might be interesting. It might not. It's an adventure. It's the classic. So I'll give you your starting. Oh, I see. This is also Hamlet. They all come inside.
Welcome all. I am glad to see thee well. Welcome, good friends. Oh, old friend, why thy face is balanced since I saw thee last? Comest thou to beard me in Denmark? What, my young lady and mistress? By Our Lady, your ladyship is nearer to heaven than when I saw you last by the altitude of a chopine.
That apparently means she's in high heels now, and he used to know her. Continue.
Pray God your voice, like a piece of uncurrent gold, be not cracked within the ring. Masters, you are all welcome. We'll into it like French falconers, fly at anything we see. We'll have a speech straight. Come, give us a taste of your quality. Come, a passionate speech.
What speech, my good lord?
I heard thee speak me a speech once, but it was never acted. If it was, not above once. For the play, I remember, pleased not the million. 'Twas caviar to the general. But it was, as I received it, and others whose judgments in such matters cried in the top of mine, an excellent play, well digested in the scenes, set down with as much modesty as cunning. I remember one said that there were no salads in the lines to make the matter savory, nor no matter in the phrase that might indict the offer of affection, but called it an honest method, as wholesome as sweet, and by very much more handsome than fine. One speech in it I chiefly loved. 'Twas Aeneas' tale to Dido, and there about it especially when he speaks of Priam's slaughter. If it live in your memory, begin at this line. Let me see. The rugged Pyrrhus, he whose sable arms, black as his purpose, did the night resemble, when he lay couched in the ominous horse. Hath now this dread and black complexion smeared with heraldry more dismal. Head to foot now is he total gules? Gules. Now is he total ghouls, horridly tricked with blood of fathers, mothers, daughters, sons, baked and empasted with the parching screeds, that lend a tyrannous and damned night to their lord's murder. Roasted in wrath and fire, and thus o'ersized with coagulate gore, with eyes like carbuncles. The hellish Pyrrhus, old grandsire Priam's sleep.
So Hamlet's just acting for the actors now. He just, hey, actors typically hate this kind of thing where the director tells them, no, why don't you do it more like this, and then does the acting for them. So he's not really sort of enamoring himself to the actors very well here. He gets a compliment or two from Polonius after that. So that's interesting. It's play within a play. The text is a little obtuse here, but I think you get the gist of it. He wanted a play about a really crappy guy, the kind of guy you wouldn't want to go dancing, want to go drinking with. Symictrinus, shifting gears, said that's why it's almost always a profile shot when those types of puppets are moving back and forth on the screen. Yeah, often. And yes, one arm is always limp when they move the puppet. That makes a lot of sense. And why you do get droopy arms on even hand and rod puppets. If the actor needs a lot of control with this arm, the other one's just gonna hang down like this. Another puppetry fact, it's not so much puppetry because it's very specific, but Big Bird, the sort of road puppets that you use at the theme parks and stuff, they have a thin wire of fishing line draped between the hands, so that when one hand is being used, because Big Bird, you're still operating the mouth also. So while one hand is being used, Big Bird's other hand doesn't droop awkwardly. It kind of hovers at its side, and it makes him look more human. So there's the Sesame Workshop and Jim Henson and all the folks who were creating these puppets had many clever tricks.
Many clever tricks.
Yay! So that was a random one. I don't know if I like that monologue as much because it was too meta. It was too meta. There wasn't enough actual emotion. It was just describing things. And that is an interesting point about selecting monologues. If any of you are actors, you probably know this, but monologues where you just talk about things are not actually terribly interesting. It's monologues where your character's actually experiencing something are far more interesting, but it can be hard to find because the character experiencing something without being surrounded by a bunch of other people interrupting them is actually kind of rare. So here's one of Hamlet's better brooding monologues. And I believe it's about, so let's double check. Oh, it's right after Rosencrantz leaves. He's talking about, I think he's still deciding about whether he wants to go through with the murder. And he has lots of inspiration around him. And I think he sees an army and believes it to be a good motivation for him to kind of get brutal. Krellin says, one of the things that fascinates him most about Shakespeare is that his work is basically completely comprehensible to English speakers 400 years ago. Yeah, there's kind of like a cliff. There's a cliff, and I don't know if it's language or what exactly happened to cause that cliff. And was Shakespeare just the lucky one who happened to be the first prolific writer after that shift in English that made it accessible to modern audiences? I don't know. And there's also a couple interesting videos online about how the pronunciation and just like the tone of speaking was much different in Shakespearean times, and how there's like a couple tricks focusing on, even though we can read the words, they didn't sound the same as we believe them they would sound. 200 years because Shakespeare's on our side of the language cliff. Yes. So let's do another one because there aren't too many questions in chat. We're just gonna keep going.
I calmed down a little bit. I mean, I got the sense I was intimidating you guys. I didn't want to do that. I mean, I know I'm a very talented puppet, and sometimes it gets exciting.
All right. Shakespeare is Bay, and I can't even.
Well said, BP Phantom. Shakespeare is Bay, and I can't even.
All right. Let's do one with a little bit more emotional meat for you, so you can choose some more scenery.
Good, because I got hungry during that last one.
All right.
How all occasions do inform against me and spur my dull revenge. What is a man if his chief good and market of his time be to sleep and feed? A beast, no more, sure that he made us with such large discourse. Looking before and after gave us not that capability and godlike reason to bust in us unused. Now, whether it be bestial oblivion or some craven scruple of thinking too precisely on the events, a thought which, quartered, hath but one part wisdom and ever 3 parts coward. I do not know why yet I live to say these things to do, sith I have cause and will and strength and means to do it. Examples gross as earth exhort me. Witness this army of such mass and charge, mass and charge, led by a delicate and tender prince, whose spirit with divine ambition pumped makes mouse at the invisible event, exposing what is mortal and unsure to all that fortune, death, and danger dare, even for an eggshell. Rightly to be great is not to stir without great argument, but greatly to find quarrel in a straw when honor's at the stake. How stand I then that have a father killed and a mother stained, excitements of my reason and my blood, and let all sleep, while to my shame I see the imminent death of 20,000 men that for a fantasy and trick of fame go to their graves like beds, right for a plot whereon the numbers cannot try the cause, which is not tomb enough and continent to hide the slain. Oh, from this time forth, my thoughts be bloody or be nothing worth. See!
Hello, everybody. So, Krellin has a question for Sprinkles. Question! Sprinkles, do you have a Valley Girl character planned for us? I thought I saw a little hint of one there.
Oh, like you thought I sounded like a valley girl? That's weird. I mean, I don't live in the valley. Cheryl has some relatives in the valley now, but for me, I don't know what you're talking about. I can't even.
Hello. So if you just joined us, I'm Cheryl, aka Muppet Aphrodite. This is Sprinkles, my puppet, or she, as she insists,
my chaperone. We don't even know if we're friends yet. I have not established that.
Fine. Thank you for the question, Krellin. And let's see, who typed what? BP Phantom said he typed that, but I don't know what he typed. Language toast. Oh, the BP Phantom was feeling dirty for typing Shakespeare's Bay, and I can't even. But it started this, so thank you. It was a gift. It was a suggestion. Kate Johnson says that head movement at the end sold it.
What? This old thing? Yeah, I have other talents too. I'm just learning.
So we just did another reading from Hamlet. We just did Hamlet talking about, and let's go back and talk about what we just saw. He said, and I'm pretty sure what he sees all these folks in the army who are motivated by minor concept of an idea, something that's not even happening to them, and he hasn't done anything about the fact that someone killed his dad. That's basically the army shames him into action, seeing them willing to fight for what they believe is right, even though he knows something's right and he's not doing anything about it.
I'm not being rude, Mictrinus. I just, in this culture of Facebook and friending and stuff, I reserve the right to just, put meaning back in friendship. I think we should hang out more or something.
Well, we're actually pretty close right now. I mean, we've been hanging out for a number of weeks.
Well, I mean, I haven't. I could go back and check my planner, but all right. It's hot, all right, and her hand's really sweaty, so I'm feisty today.
It's true, Krellin. Hamlet's problem is he spends too much talking and not enough time doing.
Yeah, if he spent as much time doing as he did talking, he would have been president of all of Europe by the time this play was over.
So yeah. Oh no. If I'm ballet and you're ballet,
Then, like, this whole thing might be totally different. Like, yeah, Quellen says, should I let Cheryl stick her hand up my backside? Apparently, I'm having some problem distinguishing possessive pronouns. Like, I guess you're right about that. We are pretty close. I guess, like, if you want to be friends, I guess we can be friends. And does that, like, you know, if you guys, like, want to be my friend too, like, send me a message or something. I don't know.
you need to. Shh. It's okay. It's okay. You don't have to be ballet all the time. All right. Yes. So what's everybody's plan for the weekend?
My plan was to lay about a little bit.
Oh God, you guys, you created a monster. I mean, she is a monster, but you created a different kind of monster because now I can't bring her back out of Valley Girl and I don't know what to do about it. So yeah, let's see. Do one more, and I appreciate feedback. Like, is this still entertaining for you guys? It's true, Krellin. I think you do get to be Sprinkle's friend because you're protecting Sprinkles. You're defending me, my honor.
Yeah, that's great. Quellen, we're like totes friends now. Like not quite besties, but yeah.
So I like it when Sprinkles just kind of looks scared and is like down here hiding over there for a second. So if you just joined, I'm Cheryl, aka Muppet Aphrodite, and we're playing with puppets. Now, the Twitch talent show thing has kind of wrapped up, and so now it's just kind of for fun. We're figuring out whether this is still something interesting. And I'm also curious for you guys, like, is the conversation and stuff, the activity that's going on, the bantering, is that entertaining? Because the whole point is to have fun here, and if we're not having fun, we shouldn't do it. So I'm curious. What other? My mother says Valley girls aren't so bad. I live around a lot of them. So that's tolerance by proximity. And Clueless is an excellent film. It's a classic. Yeah. I greatly enjoy seeing that film and seeing the old phones and stuff. And there's something in the Clueless movie that has particular meaning to me that I still can't talk to you guys about very much. But it's sometimes your career goes in interesting ways, and I've seen Clueless a number of times in the last year or two. That was mysterious. That was my voice, not, I don't even, yeah. It's all entertaining. Well, I'm glad you guys are having fun. I'm having fun too. I need to come up with other things to do with them than just reading Shakespeare. There's got to be a thing.
Well, well, there's just like answering questions and then there's doing things. And, talk shows have segments. We could come up with other segments.
I know Lauren is a fan of her show and tell. I'm sure we could come up with a number of Pikachus to show, because as many of you guys have found out on streams at random hours, there's always a Pikachu in close distance. We have a lot of them. Let's talk about Pokemon.
Let's talk about Pokemon. That's a segment. Let's talk about Pokemon. That's the thing you know about.
I do. So essentially, I feel like in July, I must have been hit in the head and woken up in a coma, because now Pokemon is just a thing again. Everybody knows about it, and they know about it in like a nice, friendly way. They'll start conversations and ask questions about it. A UX segment, yeah, I'm happy to answer UX questions, or we could puppet critiques of user experiences. That could be fun for exactly me and maybe one other person, but if you guys think that's cool, we could totally do that. So anywho, Pokemon. So I had a mattress delivery today.
Yeah, it's weird because that just sounds dirty, even though it's like totally an actual thing that happened.
I know it sounds weird, like like I'm trying to come on to people like I had a mattress delivery.
Don't do that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying how I felt like even when I emailed my coworkers, I said it was just it was just a furniture delivery. Welcome, Kurizar. Welcome, Small Fry. Welcome. We're just shooting the shit about Pokemon now. We've been doing some dramatic readings, but Sprinkles is taking a break. We had a brief foray through Valley Girl territory.
Yeah, like it's something we do sometimes.
So, anyway, so this whole the Pokemon thing, the mattress delivery guys came, and there's always with deliveries, and occasionally like when we hired folks to come and help us out with like particularly messy situations, like we're just like, I want to deal with the bathroom, and we brought someone here, and they're like, do you like Pokemon? But the way they used to say it was like, you like Pikachu, don't you? Which is a weird thing to ask when I literally have hundreds of Pikachus around me. Yeah, I get good observational powers. But now, today, it's more like genuinely interested. Like, oh, you like Pokemon? Are you playing that new game? Even if they haven't played the game, a lot of times people talk about it because they kind of feel connected to it, and it's just nice. It's a fun conversational thing. Sometimes I'm a little bit like taken back, like you. Oh, I'm happy to talk about this. Did you ask that to be nice? Did you actually?
Yeah, she gets a little excited sometimes.
I was at a party on Tuesday, and a friend came up to me and was like, I wanted to talk to you about something. I feel like Pokemon drunk history should be a thing. It's like, yes, it should. So that's a thing we're going to try to do later once he gets back from this trip. Uh, but even though sometimes people get more than they bargain for when they ask me, do you like Pokemon? And occasionally I see Mictrinus, and your answer, nope. I've been tempted, but then I feel like, but if they were being serious, then I crushed that nice line of questioning. So I'm usually like, yep, how'd you guess? Or I blurt out, Pikachu was my ring bearer, and that just kind of amps up the nerd, and they can decide whether or not to continue the line of questioning there. Krellin asks, did I find the surprise Lauren left for me in the mainframe jacket? Yes. So backstory for any of those who happen to be here who have not seen me on my Wednesday show over at Hyper RPG. And fun back, we're going tangents today. It's gotten so hot that now I'm wearing a puppetry glove, which is just essentially a glove that has no partner that's going to help my hand not fall out of the puppet, because it's getting hot in here.
Don't finish that line. It's against terms of service.
So we were talking about something, and I think it was Pokemon. I like Pokemon. I think that was, yeah.
Oh, great. Your talk show skills are going real well. She likes Pokemon, everybody.
Yeah. So Lauren was supposed. Oh yes, the jacket. So there's a show, Shadowrun Corporate Sins. We've been doing it for almost 6 months now on Hyper RPG, and our GM Lauren made a coat for my character. She is a talented cosplay crafter, and she built it has like glow wire on it and stuff, and it has it's great. But I don't wear it in this kind of heat, but I'm very excited about it. But the sweetest thing, not only is it awesome that she made this, like to my measurements, and like I don't know if I've ever had anything that tailored before, but in the inside the coat, she drew a little Pikachu with hearts. And it was just so cute, and I loved it so much. And yeah, I think I guess it was. I don't think it was on air. For some reason, I thought it was on air, but it was before the stream, I'm pretty sure. So unfortunately, it did not get captured on video, but it was a very happy moment. Thank you for the follow, Louise Garrido too. I gotta work on like a system for catching follows better when we're in the middle of dramatic readings.
Yeah, because sometimes some of these monologues take a while.
I realized that when I went to go cut my 5-minute video for the Twitch talent show, which I probably won't be in, some of the monologues were over 5 minutes. A lot of them were. So that's Shakespeare is lengthy. Yay! But yes, that Pichu in my jacket I'm super excited about. So I have an awesome coat with electronic wire and it glows in the dark and has a Pikachu drawn in it. It's pretty great. Yes. The main coat will come back when the weather cools and it's not triple digits outside, because that's the other thing. A lot of these handmade pieces, and especially with that particular fabric, you can't really wash it, and so I want to want to save it for actual thing. I'm hoping that someday we'll shoot a title sequence and we'll all be wearing our costume pieces and it'll be great, but they're really busy with other shows right now, so a title sequence will have to wait. But that's the kind of stuff I want to save for, or cosplaying. If we're still doing the show a year from now, I hope we go to Gen Con and cosplay ourselves. Krellin, Sprinkles, the only way says you're doing Shakespeare fuzzier than I remember, but do you really think you're fuzzier than Brian Blessed?
See, Krellin, now you're assuming that we have cultural knowledge, but I don't know who Brian Blessed is. Do you know?
As a matter of fact, I do not know. Krellin, who's Brian Blessed?
And why is he in all caps? Brian Blessed!
Hello, Bob Lourdes. Welcome back. Glad to see you.
Hello. Hi, Bob. Welcome back.
You missed our Valley Girl piece. Now, would you guys like to hear a Valley Girl impression of a random monologue here? Because we could do that. Sometimes the Sprinkles tries to do it kind of straight, but there's no reason we can't take things in a more interesting direction. So, Brian Blessed is a very loud, very large British actor,
and his name is only spelled in all caps. So he's like the opposite of E.E. Cummings. Brian Blessed!
Demolition says yes, please. He was Boltar in the 1980s Flash Gordon movie. The Flash Goldman. That'd be interesting. I don't know what that would be. Let's find another monologue. And I will probably wrap up the stream by 6. This will probably be our last monologue of the day. One of the things I definitely want to continue to experiment with is these shorter streams. I feel like maybe they would be a little bit more accessible. And what was that?
Well, it's like a cough sneeze. Well, you don't.
Xbox mute. Somehow she, by coughing, unmuted the Xbox where I'm watching the chat. Good job there.
Ha! I do my best.
Okay, so Valley Girl stream, Valley Girl monologue. Oh, I found an Ophelia monologue, which is kind of perfect. So we'll do that. I used to know this one. So if you're just joining us, I'm Cheryl, aka Muppet Aphrodite. This is my puppet Sprinkles. And one of the things we do is, Bob Lourdes, we are reading from Hamlet. Yes! And this is actually my Shakespeare book. It's not even my husband's. It's one of the few Shakespeare texts I have read, although I can't profess deep familiarity with it. Fun fact, I played Ophelia in Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead in college, and I have some stories from that. But that was why I had this book and why I reviewed that text. But because we're kind of punching near the end of the stream, the chat has requested that Sprinkles do this next monologue as a Valley Girl. So that is what we're doing. We're going to do a short Ophelia monologue as a Valley Girl, and we'll see how that goes and whether or not I can hold Sprinkles' voice and the Valley Girl the whole time. So.
Oh, what a noble mind is here overthrown. The courtiers, soldiers, scholars, eye, tongue, sword. The expectancy and rose, or rosé, of the fair state. The glass of fashion and the mode of form. The observed of all observers, quite down. And I, of ladies most deject and wretched, that sucked the honey of his music vows, Now see that noble and most sovereign reason, like sweet bells, jangled, jangle, jangle, jangled out of tune and harsh. That unmatched form and feature of blown youth. Blown youth. That's appropriate. Blasted with ecstasy. No, that seriously, that's a little.
You know that there's Shakespeare's innuendos also survive the test of time sometimes. Let's back up. Let's keep going. Uh,
That unmatched form and feature of blown youth, blasted with ecstasy. Oh, woe is me, to see what I have seen. See what I see.
so that
And like scene.
And there you go. That's Valley Ophelia. That's a thing that we just did. That's a thing that happened. Victor's Valley Girl is 100 out of 100. Yay! Demolition asks, out of curiosity, just how much Pikachu stuff do you have? Would love to see a pic of the collection one day. That's so cute that you think it would fit in one picture. Thank you for the follow, Zagoth44. Welcome. Welcome and thank you. It's just a thing that we do here, and we're glad you joined us. So yes, the Pikachu. I mean, the situation is. How do you quantify? How do I quantify it?
Well, it's definitely. I mean, just number of things. It's definitely triple digits. Just gonna put that out there. Triple digit Pikachu. Might even not be a one in the front of that digit, folks.
Now, plushes, different category than figurines, different category than shit I made, like my pillows, and then the clothing. There's several blankets. There's a large assortment of Christmas goods over there. And you think it's in a single room or on a single floor. And then in the the one great sadness I had when we went to Japan was that they had this fabulous collection of kitchenwares at the Tokyo Pokemon Center, but you can't really travel with like breakable dishes and stuff very well when you just have a suitcase. So I literally went to Japan and I brought an extra suitcase, just sort of soft-sided, that I scrunched up in my first suitcase,
and she filled it with Pikachus.
I did. That's the thing I did. I told people if I ever went to Tokyo, that's what I would do, and that's what I did. But I would have loved to get some of those kitchenwares. They had some really cute stuff. I mean, there's a placemat on this table, this coffee table that has Pikachus on it that I bought there. Yeah, it might have should have given it away, but it's almost and then there's the Pikachu related video game systems that I have. There's Pokemon N64. There's I have a Game Boy Color, a Game Boy Advance, Game Boy DS, and then a Game Boy 3DS. All of those Pikachu versions. But so anyway, Pandora's Box. Yeah, talk about that. So we could definitely have a segment where we bring and show and tell more Pikachu stuff. And some I can't find, what I can't find is my Pikachu perfume someone gave me, so I need to find that. It smells like oranges, and it might, it's kind of old now, so I don't know if it survived really, but that's the thing we have. We have like board games, Pokemon Memory, which I don't really know why we have because it's not a thing that adults play, and I play board games, but Memory is not really a game that we play. And Hey You Pikachu, Demolition, that is like a whole other topic. I did a grad school paper on Hey You Pikachu and the hero's journey and narrative arc there. So that's that's set like this. Pokemon Center. I'm following the link. Richard has sent a link and I am following it. Set like this. Whoa. That's, yes, things like that. Oh my goodness, and if you look at the related items in that link, yes, things like that, like those ladles, those were pretty exciting. Yeah, there's just so much. So much awesome bear.
Yeah, we might be here all day now. That's not, and
But my brother usually streams at 6. And Mictrinus, I will fix that and make you regular so you can post links. And yeah, so we are, yeah. And you know, I'm thankful for Nightbutt after our incident like a couple nights ago. So I had been considering kind of toning it down, but like, all right, I'll keep it there. But I'll get you guys regulars. It'll be good. So we're wrapping up our stream, I think. This has been super fun, but Mictrinus, you might have just done some damage because I didn't know that was on Amazon or there's any way to get that outside of Japan. So
just it's gonna be okay. I'll take care of her. Don't worry. She won't spend all her money, probably.
Anyway, hi Skyrim girly. Unfortunately, I'm mostly wrapping up, but it's really good to see you.
You missed some Ballet Girl stuff. We've been reading some Shakespeare Ballet Girl.
Yeah. We'll do one more. We'll do one more because we have 1 or 2 new people joining, and I want to give them a quick thing. So we'll do Polonius. No. Yes, we'll do Polonius as a Valley Girl.
Madam, I swear I use no art at all. That he is mad, 'tis true. 'Tis true, 'tis pity, and 'tis pity, 'tis true. Like, yeah. A foolish figure, but farewell it.
I think we need arm operation for that because there's definitely like that's basically Shakespeare's version of whatever. So it's yeah.
But farewell it.
No, we'll work on that. She's got. How do we get you doing a whatever hand? We're continuing.
For I will use no art. Mad, let us grant him then. And now it remains that we find out the cause of this effect, or rather say the cause of this defect. Burn. For this effect defective comes by cause. Thus it remains, and the remainder thus. Perpend, I have a daughter, whilst she is mine, who in her duty and obedience, mark, hath given me this. Now gather and surmise. To the celestial and my soul's idol, the most beautified Ophelia. That's an ill phrase, a vile phrase. Beautified is a vile phrase, but you shall hear thus. In her excellent white bosom, these, etc. So,
you can stop now. So Polonius was
seen.
So Polonius read a letter from Hamlet to Ophelia where he talks about her bosom. That's awkward. I mean, just think about that. Her dad read a letter to his uncle where he talks about her boobs, basically. That's crazy. Well, good night, everybody. It sounds like we are. Hello, Dynamic 73. Welcome. We were just doing a little bit. Just doing a little bit of a wrap up here. I've been on air for about an hour, and oh no, she's getting hungry again. Stop. No,
I haven't been chewing enough scenery.
Now that was like half Valley Girl and half Sprinkles.
I'm having like an identity crisis right now. I can't even.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. Welcome so much. Hope you had a great time. Thank you for all of the suggestions. We never could have got to Valley Girl without you. So my favorite part of doing all of this is interacting with you guys in chat. So thank you for joining. Hope to see you next time.
Don't let the bedbugs bite. And if you see Hamlet, he's crazy. So, just stay away.
Yeah.
Also, that's not my real voice. Remember. No. Remember me. Remember me.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for joining, and we will see you next time. Don't let too much static electricity break bullet sprinkles. That is some real advice. Good night, everybody.